Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic: all the good people are taken. There's a phrase you start hearing early in your high school student career, probably to help make you feel better about your lonesome self. And that phrase is this: all the good people are taken. And nobody really finishes the rest of the unspoken thought of that sentence. But it's this: and only the bad people are left, and you're one of them. And even though that last phrase, goes unspoken, it is still there blankly staring back at you. All the good people are taken. And that is a pretty devastating idea when you're young or even when you're old, because you know it's true, even at the tenderest age. And the reason you can't find a good girlfriend or a right boyfriend is not necessarily because you're boring or ugly or untalented, but it's just there's that fact that all the smart, attractive people you want are already taken. And they're usually taken by older people. Because when all the good people of your age are already taken, you really only have one choice at that age, and it is a desperate one: to look down for companionship and not up. But even then, as you look down in consideration, beauty and smarts do not last long on that youth market. And so you begin to realize that the only chance you have left in life, in having a lovely life and not a loveless one, is to take your future beloved away from someone else. Even if it means breaking up a puppy love or a cracking relationship, or even destroying a family. Hey, if it'll make you feel better and happier and give your life meaning to have someone finally, why not? It's a dangerous idea, isn't it? And as you age, and if you are halfway prescient in your life, you begin to know the hard experience of that phrase is absolutely true. All the good people really are taken. And so, you're alone. And what do you do? Really, what do you really do? Do you passively wait for the anticipated breakup or divorce of the one you covet? Do you sit idly by until once again the young people of the next generation come of age, and you go and try to grab them off the market by taking them into the arms of love and the imprisonment of your heart? Well, you know one thing. You certainly do not plan to remain alone. Single people may think, convincing themselves that being alone is appealing and fun. But single people are really only living a slow death into obscurity and obsolescence. And we, the connected people, know that, and we do pity them. So, now what? You can't wait. You can't whine. And you go online looking for love, and you only find jerks and the rejects of those that nobody else wants to take. to love. And all the good, pretty, smart, attractive, righteous people are off the table doing other things with other people. So, now what? You are still alone. You are not even really looking for love or sex or a family. You just want to be a little less alone than you are now. With someone, another, who is maybe just a little bit more than a friend. Someone you can belong to. And them to you. And so eventually, you tell yourself, sure, all the good people are taken and gone, but that doesn't mean they're unavailable. And you keep in mind, if a person who was once taken but is now available and has been available for a long period of time, well, you begin to realize there's something wrong with them, but not you. They don't want to be connected. They are perpetually disturbed and disconnected. Now let's pause for a slight historical reference. Here are a couple of extreme examples of being taken and then becoming available, happening all in the midst of natural, inhuman tragedies. The scene is the end of World War II, and Europe is in disarray, destroyed, still on fire, and waning in the twilight. Yes, Hitler is defeated, dead, and U.S. troops are moving in to help reposition freedom and to help in the reconstruction effort. And there is one young Jewish American soldier who became a man in the war, leaping from the continent at age 18, and who lost his feet to trench foot. And that young man was on a ship sailing for Italy when he spied a beautiful blonde-haired Danish woman. The young old soldier, still fresh and bitter and grateful to be alive and bloody from the war, approached the young woman and asked her name. She replied, and he was forever love-struck. And that young soldier vowed right then and there to her in public on the side of a ship that they would be together forever. But she was married, taken, and she was Jewish, and her husband was missing, and her husband was last seen on a train to Dachau. And the rest of her family was dead, missing, killed by the Nazis. And the young soldier vowed to marry her. But she was already married, she reminded him. And the young soldier did not care. He was going to take her. And after some time and courting and sorting, and some waiting for reports from the camps to start appearing, the woman's husband was lost to the history of the sky, never to appear to her alive again. And so she relented to marrying the younger, more idealistic American soldier, who had lost nothing in the war but the health of his feet. And they were married in Europe, and they moved to the United States together as one. And there, on the East Coast, they raised a family. He with her, she with him. And for the next 60 years they were married, happily and unhappily, joyously and treacherously, because that's how a real marriage works. You take the ups with the pitfalls. You aim for the pinnacles, and you settle for sea level. Taken, lost, abandoned, retaken again. The circle of human existence. And then we recall the tragedy, the aftermath of what was 9/11, when the trade centers fell in New York City, and families were wrenched apart by death and fire and destruction, and then rebuilt again, differently, subtragically, with some surviving firefighters marrying the widows of their fallen brethren, and police officers marrying into the families of dead cops they knew, to fulfill a wish and to sustain a legacy of being. A legacy of being involved and of being important. All the good people are taken, but only for the moment. And now, my friend, more generally, we are left to wonder about those who cheat on a spouse while involved in a living marriage. You're taken, but you then choose to take another someone in addition to the someone you already have? Madness. If the cheater put half as much energy into the marriage as he or she did into slinking around and trying not to get caught, the marriage would never be placed in jeopardy in the first place. And sure, we all understand some people cheat in a marriage for excitement or fulfillment or to get away from a bad situation. But I always thought it was better, more honorable, more morally straight, to be direct instead of placing your entire life into the false comfort of the lie. And speaking of the purposeful cheater taking more than what is allowed, I am reminded of the genius criminal mind, trying its best to go against the morality of society, merely in order to steal from honest people and to circumvent conventional norms for selfish gain. Our morality is already taken until someone decides to take it away from us. And if the criminal mind put as much energy into being a part of society as they do into breaking the law, we would all be better off. And so, as we round the corner to close this circle, knowing with resolve that all the good people are taken and that all the bad people are still out there, we need to reform this reckoning. We are not alone. We are always together. But sometimes we must find patience apart. For if we remain right, then the right people will find us, and the right people will come to us, without destruction or whoring or pimping or stealing or cheating or selling out our moral motives. And if we are left alone, ignored, that's okay. Then the moment is not right. And we may have to wait into rotting. Because breaking up, breaking out someone from another something purely for our own pleasure is dangerous and disingenuous. And the love we lost will not be the love we leave. And there is nobility in the Stoic, and sadness in the pit, and in the crux of that broken vessel, we discover our human desires, thirsty and clinging to the sides of desperation, bidding against lonesomeness, hoping to one day be quenched in the filling of love and of caring for someone else. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.